Brinda Pyrtha again of course Genoch in with Arta. Well, Colonel than Grosins. That has been the theme and destin of the Cascasilians Colonel, the conference on Cornwall, which is still taking place today actually, which began yesterday. These conferences began in May of 1983 and now take place twice every year to deal with all sorts of matters relating to Cornwall. The theme, Cornwall at the Crossroads, is also the title of a book which is shortly to be published by COSERG, the Cornish Social and Economic Research Group. The book is written by Bernard Deacon, Andrew George and Ronald Perry. And it was to Bernard Deacon I spoke and asked him, Cernardan Grosins, Pitis Steer and Destina. Cornwall at the Crossroads, what does that title actually mean? And Bernard began his answer by saying that in his view, and presumably the view of the other authors of the book, that there were two ways now presenting themselves to Cornwall. The first was to continue much as we were going at the moment, but as Bernard says, a more keen vorth, a different way. Colonel than Grosins, Pitis Steer and Destina.
What's in Celtic?
Yeah.
Cornwall at the Crossroads. Well, Thernig was both do vor, right Colonel, and Deitma. And Kensa vor you, Mos Warren Keith vor, gen Milio Bobble a dos the Gernal Puplevin, gen in development a Mos in Scone, Mirachoyo Drevelis, again and Gluins Kernewek, most of these. I get ma Keenvor, and Keenvor use Perderi Drotha Gurnal or Crease and Taulo, rank terminazi. For example, Nail in lay Perderi and covered Droy and dynamic in migrants the Gurnal. Cosini Perderi Drotha Cabmeras gun dynamic young people gun women in Kernel. So Dale both an economy Ragan Kernoyan.
Ragan Kernoyan for the Cornish. But I said to Bernard, isn't this an old subject? We've been discussing in various forms the question of Cornwall's identity for a long while now. Why are we at the crossroads now, this moment in time? And Bernard's answer is that we've been at the crossroads, Thun Grosins, Nancy Iggins Blithen, for 20 years, but that things are now coming to decision time.
Both Tyranny Thun Grosins, Nan Liber Ponenju Iggins Blithen Leben, in Hway Ganzo, and Tis Farelis, the Those the Gernal. Niver Bros. Nirik Drevel and Point Leben. Lemain an identity Kernewek Yuanen. Gin Godros.
And Avia Kellis, Manirani.
Avia Kellis, Vid Kellis in Terminate. I thought Nagu Avidzi Werbeden and Kernoyan, Nagu simple Pugareda. There's Costly Perderi and Kevin identity, Taklum Parnard, Roy, although, or to Crace, Gun Taulo, Nagizian Consul, Agan, TCG, Screva, and Policies, Agarol, Perderi Mir and Kevin Kanoyan Gawanan. What
Bernard accuses Cornwall's planners of doing is failing to Perderi Mir and Kever Kernoyan, to think more about the needs of Cornish people. And whether you agree with that view or not, that is a view that is clearly expressed by COSERG. So I asked Bernard specifically, what solutions does COSERG, the Cornish Social and Economic Research Group, suggest to the two problems of one, providing low-cost housing, and two, of people who want to come to Cornwall to live and buy properties up as soon as they come on the market? And he acknowledges himself that it's not an easy question to answer.
These fast. Pupris Madnebers tis Lawthani well and govern you Drevel Moya Choyo Agvis Choyo Raga Gun Flays. There's Propri cerny a drevel choyo, man tis thert posters in St.Ives, Torsagerno, Gafrena. So, Race Vissani, Praetorian Kever Policy Noeth, Capma Amaze and Policy Call, Praetorian Kever Local Needs, Mertesan Housing Association, Hagero.
How have you raised the very the dues measure Milo from a Hatriga?
Well, any Tibians, there's cheer at the Vera Sada.
May the fear Tibians Navia drug and it's Gina.
Well, I'm pointing you in Lundres, me Lennis, me Regius Erthigo in Papper and Slicing Spashes. Like a third decent Lundres, a third decent Govin Art and decent Lundres. It's once Sui Voja, Guaya. I get Hunter and decent Leverus, yeah. So, Martis Nepes and decent Vittendos the Gurno, this Milio these Atols the Gurno. Nepris, Cosani Lao, Nail Gun Bro, Camerazol and decent, upon environment of Viscilius and identity of Viscilius, and Navis Kernel.
And Navis Kernel. Cornwall won't be Cornwall anymore. As the fly sheet to the book says, is Cornwall at the crossroads? Are we destined to become a developer's paradise, ringed by a coast full of marinas and luxury yachts? Or will Cornwall remain a special place with a distinct identity, rooted in the strengths of its people and its communities? Well, whatever your view on that perhaps controversial subject, it's a book I think that might well be worth getting hold of. It's published by the Cornish Social and Economic Research Group, shortly to appear, at the cost of £4.25. There is a special pre-publication price offer of £3.50 post-free. And if you want further details of that book, Cornwall at the Crossroads, then you should write to COSERG, C-O-S-E-R-G, COSERG, care of 51 Plainangwarry, Redruth. 51 Plainangwarry, Redruth. And if you haven't got that address down in time, then write to me at Radio Cornwall and I shall send it on to you. And now some notices. Nebes Avizianzu. First of all, to inform you that there is a concert, Cornish Songs and Cornish Singers, music by Lorna West, taking place on Sunday the 20th of November at the Queen's Hotel, Penzance, at 2 p.m. Performers are Carenza Singers, Douglas Williams, John Bolitho, Debbie and Scott. £2.50 at the door, and it's in aid of the Carenza Singers Australian tour next spring. There is a programme of lectures and classes and other events at Kernewek, the Cornish Language Centre, and this Friday the 18th, I know it's Children in Need Day, but if you have time in the evening, there is a talk by Graham Sandercock, Chairman of the Cornish Language Board, who some of you may have heard on Kroeder Kroghen, talking about the revised spelling system for Cornish adopted by Keza and Tavis Kernewek, the Cornish Language Board. And that is to be followed a week later, a week on Friday, by the Brian Webb Memorial Lecture, also by Graham Sandercock, the theme of which is Bringing Up Children Bilingually. Bringing Up Children Bilingually. The most important event perhaps coming up is Cantella's Kevin Blazenek, Coetus and Yes Kernewek, the annual general meeting of the Cornish Language Fellowship. And that's going to be held on the 10th of December, Helegos Bizidiek, the Baptist Church, Brian Chapel, Chapel Hill, Truro. So, 2 o'clock, 10th of December, the annual general meeting of Coetus and Yes Kernewek, the Cornish Language Fellowship. A morning's meeting to discuss the Coetus' work in general, and the afternoon for the full annual general meeting with all its business that has to be conducted. So those were the notices. And now to end with today, in slightly lighter vein I suppose, a look at what it's like actually learning Cornish. My evening class in Penzance have been going for a few weeks now, and they've got over the first difficulties, and there'll be classes like those all over Cornwall, all over the world in fact as well. So I asked them why they decided to join in the Cornish class in the first place. Why learn Cornish? Justin, you've started learning Cornish this year. Why did you decide to learn Cornish?
The main reason, I think, is because I am Cornish, and I feel that it is my own language, and I should try in every way I can to speak my own language.
But why? I mean, what are you trying to demonstrate by doing that?
I think I'm trying to demonstrate my own Cornishness. I've lived away from Cornwall now for some 14 years, and I've struggled with books and tapes in the past, but now, once I've been back to Cornwall for 2 years, I feel that I should prove my Cornishness to myself.
Julie, is that the same reason for you?
Similar. I went to France in May, Brittany, and I came back rather disgusted that I didn't know my own language, whereas the Bretons kept their language alive, and that helped me decide to take lessons.
Trevor, what about you?
I agree with Justin. I think another reason could be curiosity, but more importantly, I think it is identity. The Welsh have got a language, the Irish, the Scots have got a language, the Cornish must certainly have a language, and why shouldn't we learn it?
What about those people who would say that you're learning a dead language that so few people speak that it's utterly useless in any way? It's as daft as learning Latin or Greek.
I don't agree with that at all. Children today at school can learn French or German, and you can say that is equally as useless if you don't go to France or you don't go to Germany where you practice the language. Now, we are actually in a county with its own language. I think we should learn to speak it.
Richard, what made you decide to learn Cornish?
No other reason I thought I should, really. Sort of being Cornish myself, like a Welsh person would learn Welsh. No different to that.
Just seems the natural thing to do.
That's really, I can't think of anything deeper than that, you know what I mean?
Jim, I'll come to you last, oldest and last. I hope you don't object to me saying. I mean, you're a senior citizen, starting to learn Cornish, fairly late in life. Why?
Well, first of all, it is because I am Cornish, and I go along with everything that Justin said a little while ago. I read once that if anyone professed to be Cornish and Cornish born and bred, that is a very good reason alone for learning to speak the tongue. And it is in our own interest to learn the language and promote it. And if everybody in the county or the country of Cornwall, I'd rather say the country of Cornwall, if everybody said, oh, I can't be bothered to learn Cornish, well, then the language will really die and will never be resurrected.
Now, a hard question for all of you, and be honest. Is it hard to learn? You've had a few lessons with me now. How do you feel about it, really? Is it hard? Julie?
It is, but you make it seem easier.
Oh, thank you for the flattery. But you'd say it is quite difficult to start with?
Yes.
Can you think of any particular examples, or what makes it difficult? The sounds? Does it look unusual, or what?
It just looks unusual, the formation of the letters. Like DH, you don't have that in English.
That's right, and there are a lot of sounds that don't occur exactly in English the same, aren't they? Yeah. Justin, would you agree it's difficult to learn?
Yes, I would, but I've attempted to learn Cornish before, and I find that once you get over the initial hump, it's not too bad.
And you'd say it's good fun to speak Cornish?
Oh, it's very good fun.
Okay. Marastavi.
Well, one or two of you may be inspired to start learning Cornish yourselves. It's never too late. If you are interested, write to me, John King, Radio Cornwall, Phoenix Orchestra, and I'll make sure that you get put in touch with the Cornish class nearest to you. Henry Organ Sathan, Iragus Goddess Nissa Sathan, this Enna, Diganachwi all. God be with you all, as always. Diganachwi.